How service areas work. One of the most important parts of the local landscaping partners network is how we manage service areas. Instead of signing up an unlimited number of providers and asking everyone to compete for the same work, we build coverage intentionally around customer demand, provider capabilities, and local capacity. In this video, we'll explain how service areas are established, how customer requests are matched, how new markets are developed, and how providers can grow alongside the network. Provider openings are evaluated market by market and are not kept open indefinitely. If we are currently seeking coverage in your area, this may be an opportunity to get established before the provider roster is filled and additional onboarding is paused. Understanding the process will help you determine whether now is the right time to claim your service area. Why service areas exist. Many lead platforms continue adding providers without considering whether there is enough customer demand to support them. That can leave too many companies pursuing too few opportunities. We take a different approach. We evaluate customer activity, existing provider capacity, and the services needed within each market before adding more coverage. When an area already has enough active providers, onboarding may be limited or paused until additional capacity is needed. That is why timing matters. If you see that local landscaping partners is actively seeking providers in your market, it generally means there is an identified coverage need or an opportunity we are preparing to develop. Applying while that opening is available gives your business the opportunity to be evaluated before the local provider roster is filled. Managed coverage does not guarantee exclusivity or a specific number of jobs. However, it does mean we are intentionally trying to avoid adding unnecessary competition around active partners. Our objective is to create a healthier balance between provider capacity and customer opportunity. How customers find us. Customer demand enters the network through several channels. These may include locally focused websites, online search, advertising, referrals, repeat customers, and other marketing efforts. When someone submits a service request, our team gathers the available details, reviews the location and requested work, and prepares the opportunity for matching. We do not need providers to depend on a single advertising source. Our role is to build visibility across multiple channels and bring customer requests into one coordinated system. That allows providers to spend less time chasing prospects and more time completing quality work. How jobs are matched. When a customer submits a request, we first identify the service location and determine which approved coverage area it falls within. Next, we review the type of work requested and compare it with the services offered by providers covering that area. We also consider availability, current capacity, travel preferences, and any other relevant job requirements. Not every provider receives every customer request. An opportunity is routed according to the provider's approved service area, offered services, and ability to take on the work at that time. This helps us connect the customer with a provider who is positioned to complete the project successfully, while avoiding requests that fall outside the provider's normal operation. Real-world example. Consider a provider operating in the Houston market. The company may begin with a home base near one part of the metro area and choose to cover several surrounding communities and zip codes. When customer requests arrive from within that approved coverage area, the provider may be considered for opportunities that match its services and availability. Because demand can come through several marketing channels, the provider is not dependent on one website, one advertisement, or one source of business. The broader objective is to build enough local visibility and customer density across the provider's approved area to create a steady pipeline of relevant opportunities over time. Actual request volume will depend on market demand, seasonality, services offered, pricing, capacity, and provider performance. Growing with the network. A provider does not need to cover an entire metro area on the first day. Many companies begin with a focused service area that fits their current crew size, equipment, route preferences, and workload. As the provider becomes more comfortable with the system, adds employees, or increases production capacity, nearby communities can be considered for expansion. Local landscaping partners can then support that growth by developing additional visibility and customer demand in the newly approved areas. Some providers may remain focused on one compact, efficient route. Others may eventually serve multiple cities, counties, or larger regions. The right approach depends on the provider's business model and goals. Providers who establish themselves early in a developing market may also be better positioned to grow as customer demand increases. Rather than repeatedly searching for new companies, we would often prefer to expand with a reliable provider who already understands the system, communicates well, and has the capacity to take on more work. Getting established in the right area can therefore create opportunities beyond the provider's initial coverage. Another advantage of the network is our ability to begin developing coverage in markets where a qualified provider is available, but active coverage has not yet been established. A provider may contact us directly from a new area or an existing partner, property manager, business owner, or industry contact may introduce a qualified company. We then evaluate local demand, competitive conditions, service needs, and whether the provider appears capable of supporting the market. When the opportunity makes sense, initial market development and local coverage setup can sometimes begin within approximately 1 to 2 weeks. That means you do not necessarily need to wait until you see an established local landscaping partner's market in your city. A qualified provider can sometimes be the reason we begin developing that area. If you operate in a market where coverage is not yet active, contacting us early gives us the opportunity to evaluate demand and determine whether a new service area can be built around your business. Geography is not the only factor that influences network growth. Provider performance matters as well. Companies that communicate promptly, arrive when expected, document their work, maintain professionalism, and create positive customer experiences become valuable long-term partners. When a provider consistently performs well and has additional capacity, it may make more sense to help that company expand than to bring in another provider nearby. That support may include considering additional service areas, developing more local visibility, or routing a broader range of suitable opportunities. Expansion is not automatic, but strong performance, reliable communication, and available capacity can place a provider in a better position for future growth. Success creates confidence, and confidence can create additional opportunity. Referrals are another important part of how the network develops. Existing providers, property managers, contractors, business owners, and other industry contacts often know reliable service companies operating in markets where coverage is needed. When a referred company completes qualification, joins the network, and becomes active, it may help us open an uncovered area or strengthen a market where customer demand is increasing. Our provider referral program is therefore focused on introducing quality service companies, not simply sending customer names or individual sales leads. A strong referral can create new provider capacity, broader geographic coverage, and more opportunities across the network. Current referral compensation and eligibility requirements are explained separately through the referral program. We don't overcrowd markets. This is one of the most important principles behind our service area model. Many platforms continue enrolling providers indefinitely. We do not believe that creates the best environment for long-term success. Our goal is not maximum enrollment. Our goal is sustainable opportunity. As customer demand grows within a service area, we first consider whether the providers already covering that market have the capacity to handle more work. When they do, we would generally prefer to support their growth rather than immediately add unnecessary competition. Additional providers are considered when demand, geography, services, response times, or capacity indicate that more coverage is genuinely needed. Once sufficient coverage has been established, new applications in that market may be placed on hold. So, when an opening is available in your area, Applying early matters. It gives your company the opportunity to be evaluated while the market is still accepting additional coverage. Your service area normally begins with your home base zip code. From there, we discuss the nearby zip codes, neighborhoods, cities, or travel radius that make practical sense for your business. A newer or smaller provider may begin with only a few nearby areas to keep routes efficient and avoid taking on more work than the crew can support. As the company gains experience, becomes comfortable with the workflow, adds equipment, or grows its team, additional sections of the market can be considered. The service area can expand gradually rather than all at once. You remain responsible for communicating your current capacity and identifying the areas you are prepared to serve reliably. The objective is not to create the largest possible territory. It is to create a service area that supports efficient routes, quality work, satisfied customers, and sustainable growth. The provider who begins with only a few neighborhoods today may eventually become the company we rely on across a much larger portion of the market. That growth begins by getting established in an available service area, performing well, and expanding only when the business is ready. You do not need to claim an entire region on day one. You simply need to secure a practical starting point before the available coverage is filled. Local Landscaping Partners grows by combining nationwide marketing capabilities with qualified providers operating within carefully managed local service areas. Every successful market begins with customer demand, dependable local coverage, and a provider prepared to serve the area professionally. If Local Landscaping Partners is currently seeking providers in your market, we encourage you to take the next step while openings are still available. Once sufficient coverage is established, additional onboarding may be paused until more capacity is needed. To be considered, visit locallandscapingpartners.com or email partnerships@locallandscapingpartners.com with your business name, home zip code, services offered, and preferred coverage area. Submitting an application does not guarantee approval, exclusivity, or job volume. It gives our team the opportunity to evaluate your business while coverage may still be available. Claim your service area, complete the qualification process, and give your business the opportunity to grow with the network. Thank you for watching. We look forward to learning more about your business and the communities you are prepared to serve.